Welcome back into the Sports Source. We're happy to have you here for this segment. It's brought to you by our good friends at, there you go, Madisonville Marine. And it's the best place to buy a boat. We tell you that every week. We told you that for years because it's true. In terms of finding a new boat, finding a used boat, Madisonville Marine is the best place because they got the best selection, and they even offer warranties on their used boats. Bob Hodge got a used boat from Madisonville Marine, got a warranty, had an issue, took it back. It was a factory issue.
Fixed.
Madisonville Marine fixed it. Madisonville Marine, folks. All right, want to welcome in the next members of our panel here. We have David Ligon, former Vol offensive lineman, sitting right over there. Down there, we have former Vol quarterback Sterling Hinton. All right, wanted to show you guys some tweets I got yesterday at the Sports Source TV account. Most of them had to do with Butch Jones. There we go. The first one is, hate to say it, but Butch's honeymoon is over now. The next one said, honeymoon is over. I got about a bunch of honeymoon is over. Question, is the honeymoon over?
He was never on a honeymoon. This man has got a job to do. You know, and he's working hard to make sure he does the best he can and give us a winning football program. And we need our Tennessee Vol Nation to get behind that effort. Tough times don't last, tough people do. It was good around here for a long time. We're coming back. Let's get through this little bump. That's all it is.
David?
I agree. I agree. There never was a honeymoon. He does have a job to do, and I think he's the right guy for it.
Absolutely.
Look, they've got great pieces to work with in certain areas. Other areas, it's bad. It's bad from the previous guy, Derek Dooley. I don't even know why we paid that guy a buyout. I mean, he should have been fired with cause with how terrible he was.
He had a signing class
I'm
without
serious.
a single
It's
offensive
ridiculous. And that goes to the previous athletic director.
All right. Guys, honeymoon.
No, he didn't have a honeymoon because he was not a glamorous hire when he was hired. I think if you had got a glamour guy, yes, he would have had a bit of a honeymoon. Butch Jones didn't. But even though you might have gone through the back door, I think you got the right guy.
Jimmy.
I disagree with Elio. I think he was on a honeymoon. And I think it shows in the support he's had. It shows in the VFLs that showed up yesterday. It showed in the attendance.
Attendance great.
It showed in the 40,000 that showed up for an open practice. I think he's been on a honeymoon. I think the part of the honeymoon is over. There's still some people that are behind him, but when you lose a game like that a lot of people thought you're going to win, they're mad about it. But we had enough calls this morning too that indicate no, he's still the guy. He'll get the job done. But I think there's some support that has been
So
lost.
still honeymoon, just no room service.
There you go.
I just, to me, I don't know how much honeymoon any of these guys get. To me, that's okay. There's some excitement. They're believing in him. I don't know that you're giving him breaks, but okay. I look, though, at that win over South Carolina last year. You might as well not even beat them. That is so out the window. That meant nothing. Everybody talked about, he's got to have a signature win. He got it. That's forgotten, man. That is a signature win.
And you need two
Meant
signature
nothing.
wins.
Yeah, you need two. And
But
when
what
you
was
get
the
two,
reaction when he
Gotta
won
get
it?
three.
That's right.
Absolutely.
The reaction when he won it, I thought that was part of the honeymoon he was on, to me.
All right. Let me show you another tweet. I got several of these yesterday about out-coaching. Out-coached again was one. Jones is not a good game day coach. He can't manage a game. One point that I'll make, John, Butch is now 1-4 in SEC games decided by 4 points or less. I'll take the last one. That's unfair because South Carolina once and Georgia twice, you weren't even supposed to be within 4 points of them.
Right.
So hard to count off against a man who played better than you thought he would. In terms of him being a bad game day manager,
I do not see that. I mean, Derek Dooley was a bad game manager. You
you
could
go.
see it constantly in the things he did. Now, I thought something yesterday, bad game management. You call a timeout on fourth and maybe we'll go for it, and then you end up punting. I hate that. That to me is bad game management stuff, but that's one play, and that's one play out of what, almost a season and a half now that you've seen him. So no, I think he's a good game manager.
he was in the last two games on the final drive.
Yes, exactly.
How much more game manager? I mean, outcoached? Were they outcoached yesterday? I would spin it this way. Did Tennessee have the superior roster? Because I don't think so.
No.
And if you don't, then you weren't outcoached, my view. But
I
Go
think
ahead.
Florida's defense outcoached Tennessee's offense, and Tennessee's defense outcoached Florida's offense. That's what I think.
I think you get too bad. I think you got one offense that's playing with the offensive line tied behind its back,
It
and
is.
the other one with no skill
It is.
players tied behind its back.
I think
but
when you're that inept on the offensive line, you've got to be really creative with your play calling, and I didn't see it. Did you see a
Well, I think
counter
you're just-
yesterday?
you're
No, I don't
limited
think
in what
you-
you can do.
Yeah, I don't.
David, with that O line,
You ran a counter for 40-something yards against Oklahoma. I didn't see a counter run yesterday. I didn't see a lot of. I thought I would have taken a 6'4" receiver like Marquez Smith, put him in the slot, and run a slant with him. I just thought they were a little bit too vanilla. And I know they got their hands tied behind their back, but you got to be more creative with your play calling.
I think your play calling looks bad when it doesn't work.
Didn't look
We'll
bad
talk
against
about play
Georgia.
selection in the next deal. Did they get out coach, David?
I think the players just got beat. I mean,
Yes.
you're talking about getting creative. How can we expect guys to know what to do if they can't even understand and pick up simple blitzes and pass guys off on the offensive line? I mean, if they can't even figure that out, like, hey, on this blitz, I've got this guy, or if this happens, I've got this. If they can't figure that out, how are they supposed to know a new play that's going to be put
Why'd they
in?
get over 400 yards against Georgia?
We'll talk about that. I'll show you. We'll talk about that. I'll show you. Sterling.
Once again, I'm disagreeing with Jimmy. Butch is
Always dangerous.
Yeah, come on, Butch is too small to be Jackie Gleason. What is he talking about? For crying out loud. And second of all, the game yesterday, I believe the players were in position they had their chance to win. When your defense gets you the ball 4 times,
Yep.
4 times, we got the ball in the red zone, we've got to get points. If we just simply got another field goal, if something changes.
If Worley, and granted, I'm cutting that kid a lot of slack because he's played on his back a lot of times. He's fallen off his back foot. He's on that interception at the start of the half. If you just take 3 into the line and kick a field goal, you probably win that game. Now, I don't know how it plays out from there, but you probably win it. So, to me, that's not out coaching. You had one play that really bit you. You had a fumble. They didn't coach him to fumble. So I don't think they were out coached, but we want to talk about play selection in the next segment too.
Right.
Necessary roughness, and we'll let Jimmy debate with us. Come on back on the Sports Source.